Hi, hello, welcome back. Today I wanted to just do a quick little recap of everything that I've read so far in 2025. I wrote down all of the books, all 15 that I have read so far since 2025 started. I even had to go through and write down the names of all of the main characters because no matter how much I love a book, am notorious for forgetting the characters' names. So, I already did a little January recap, and then I did not do a February or March one yet, but I just wanted to do like a full year so far recap, first 3 months, first quarter, and talk about 15 books that I have read so far. So, starting off, the first book I read this year was The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams, and I rated this 4 stars. This book is like a historical fiction about the making of the Oxford English Dictionary, and it is from this girl's point of view. Her name is Esme, and her dad was helping write the dictionary, and it's basically her journey of growing up, and it's very character driven, and there's some sad stuff in there. If you love words, this is definitely for you. You will love it. Next is The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. So this was the first memoir I have ever read in my life. I have never read a memoir up until now, and this is a memoir of the oldest Frankie daughter from the 8 Passengers YouTube vlogging family. And it is basically telling her story of growing up with an abusive mother and just how that shaped her, what she experienced during the whole falling apart and when her mom got arrested and all of that. And so it was really interesting. It was very intentional, like the information she shared, the fact that she didn't share any of her siblings' names out of respect for them and their privacy. I did not rate that one, obviously, because it's a memoir, and that just feels wrong. It was very good, though. Hello Stranger by Catherine Center was next. I have never read a Catherine Center book before this, and I rated this one 3 stars. I liked the concept. It was really unique, but I think I liked the concept more than the execution. There was a lot of plot holes, and it was just so frustrating to me because I guessed what was going to happen in like the 3rd chapter. Like, I knew what was going to happen the whole time. The main character to me was frustrating. It was like very one-sided with all her friendships and her relationships, and she complained a lot. Like, she whined a lot, which in her situation I can understand. It's valid, but like, I grew very frustrated with her. It was a fun little read, but it was not something I would like go around necessarily recommending to people. Next was The Diviners by Libba Bray. My dad recommended this book for me. It is I want to say kind of like an urban fantasy. The main character, Evie, has these diviner powers, and there's a cult that's trying to bring back some god or like angel thing to worship, and they're committing murders, and they're trying to get to the bottom of like who is doing all of this. It's kind of like a murder mystery / urban fantasy. I ended up rating that one 3 stars. Next was Funny Story by Emily Henry. This was 5 stars for me. Daphne and Miles had just both gone through breakups. It was Daphne and her fiance and Miles and his girlfriend, and these two got together and cheated on their significant others. So Daphne and Miles also decided to get together and fake date to make them jealous, and it was so good. It was kind of like a opposite Grumpy Sunshine, where the sunshine was more Miles and the grumpy was more Daphne, and Daphne was a librarian, and so there was a bunch of like book loving themes in it. I feel like I need more words to describe these books because me saying it was so good over and over is just not really doing it. But it was. Emily Henry pretty much hits every time except for People We Meet on Vacation for me. I did not really like People We Meet on Vacation. I think I rated that one like 3 stars. Everything else has been 5 stars. Happy Place, funny story, Book Lovers, which I'll talk about soon, and I need to read Beach Read. I just bought it in physical form. I usually read on Kindle, which is not why I'm like holding up these books for you. It's because I read all of them on my Kindle. Emily Henry, I love her. I think she's probably my favorite romance author. I'm so basic, I know, but I love her writing. I love it so much. She's so good at characterization. She's so good at creating these multi-dimensional characters and having them fall in love. Anyways, next was Circe by Madeline Miller. Circe, honestly, I feel so bad about it, but Circe greatly disappointed me because Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, favorite book of all time. That is my favorite book. I love Song of Achilles. I want, like, tattoos about Song of Achilles. I want it, like, I am so passionate about Song of Achilles. And I was fully expecting the same thing from Circe, and I just was not feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. Now, I loved the writing of Circe. Circe, the writing, beautiful. So beautiful. Just like in Song of Achilles. The writing, that's one of the reasons I love Madeline Miller. Her writing is just so exceptional. It is wonderful. That being said, I was so bored. And I was kind of expecting more of like I've seen Madeline Miller discussing how she wanted to write a Greek mythology story from the point of view of a woman, because a lot of the times it's just from the point of view of a man, and all we know about Circe is that she was exiled to an island and stuck there. And I was kind of expecting more like girl power, and a lot of it was just like she was on an island and then men arrived and she like turned them into pigs. A plot began in like the last 100 pages where she has a son and the son is being like threatened and she's doing everything she can to protect him. And I feel like if that was the whole plot of the book itself, like the whole book, and not just the plot of the last 100 pages, I would have liked it a lot more. But instead, I was just bored. And it was a struggle for me to finish this book. It was one that I softy DNF'd for a good, like, year. And then picked it up again and finished it and was like, it wasn't for me. It's beautiful, but it wasn't for me. So that one, I rated 3 stars. There was a lot I loved about it, but there was also a lot I didn't love about it. Next was City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. That is number 4 out of 6 of the Mortal Instruments series. Here you go, baby. I love the Mortal Instruments series. I love Infernal Devices more, but I love the Mortal Instruments series. It is probably one of my top, like, 3 favorite series. In my top 3 favorite series. And this one was good. I rated it 4 stars, but I honestly don't really remember a lot of what happened. Like, the plot was kind of lost on me. Like, it was just kind of forgettable. But I like that we are focusing more on Simon now, who has been more of a side character. Next, I read Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. This was my first Annabelle Monaghan book. I rated this one 5 stars, and then I later went back and rated it 4 stars. I loved this book. I rarely find romances written from the point of view of a mom. This mom named, what's her name? Allie is going through a divorce, and she meets a guy named Ethan, and it's just them coming together, and she has 3 kids, I think? 3 kids that are all, like, elementary to junior high age, and she's talking about, like, raising them through the divorce, and she is doing a lot of growing and figuring out kind of who she is outside of this marriage she was in, and how she allowed herself to get, like, walked all over, and now she's discovering herself and learning how to show her children, especially her teenage daughter, how to, like, be a strong woman. all that being said, it sounds kind of heavy, but it is a light, fluffy, summery romance. Next, I read Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I was not planning on reading this book, but my dad was like, you gotta read it. You gotta read it. So I did, and I rated it 5 stars. It was so good. There were plot twists in there that I did not see coming. Like, I really, truly didn't. I probably should have, but I didn't see them coming. And the world building was so interesting. And the character's motivation made sense. And the romance in it, her learning her powers, all of it was wonderful. And I'm so excited because I just got on Libby the next book. So I'm going to be reading that probably in the next week or two after I finish the book I'm reading right now. And I'm so excited. I was shook at the end, okay? I was not expecting the plot twist that occurred. So, I also love Mare Barrow, okay? She is such a good female protagonist. Next, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Another 5-star. I love anything to do with books. Okay, I'm an English teacher. I was an English major. I write. I read. I love anything to do with books. And so this is a romance between an editor and a literary agent. There was a lot of, obviously, book and writing themes. And it takes place in a small town, which this is something that I thought was really funny. It takes place in a small town where a book was written. And the author had never gone to this small town before they wrote the book. Does this sound familiar at all? Twilight? I'm not going to say exactly where I live, but I live in the Forks, Washington area. So, this hit close to home. This was very relatable to me. I really loved it. It was, again, the writing exceptional, the characterization exceptional, Charlie, exceptional man. Nora, exceptional woman. Her love for her sister was so beautiful. Up next, Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I rated this 4 stars. It was, again, I love his writing style. It was very poetic, and this was such a unique story. I have never read a story this unique in my life. It was a comedy, which I went into this book knowing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I thought it was going to be a romance book. No, it was a comedy about a failed bank robbery turned hostage situation, but all the hostages and the bank robber become friends. It is so funny, but it is so interesting because all the characters are intertwined and connect to each other. All the characters are, what's the word? Caricatures of types of people, so they have very dramatic personalities, but they're kind of representing a type of person, if that makes sense. 30 to 50% of the way in, I was just flying through it. It was so funny. It was so interesting. I didn't know what was going to happen. Truly, I did not know what was going to happen next. I didn't know how they were going to get away with it, if they were going to get away with it. And then also, you're getting the cops' point of view as they're trying to figure out how to get how to help the hostage situation. I've never read a book like this in my entire life, and it was so interesting. Next was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I have never read an Abby Jimenez book before this. I rated this one 4 stars. I kind of want to up it to 4.5 stars, maybe even 5 stars. I was so excited to read this book because it is a small town boy, city girl romance, and that is exactly the trope. If my husband and I were a trope, it would be that one. My husband is from a very small town. I am not from the city, but I'm from a very large town. And so I was super excited to read this one. I completely connected to the main love interest having to drive multiple hours each way to see each other, because my husband and I had to do that for 2 years, I think. We would have to drive like 4 hours every weekend to see each other, which I know that there's like worse long distance situations, but that was our experience. There was a miscommunication. I don't want to say it was a miscommunication trope. It was kind of like she was hiding things from him, but she had good reason to. Like, there was a reason that made sense in the story for her to hide things about her life from him. I like Abby Jimenez's writing, so I am going to be reading more of her books, and I don't know, I really love this one. After this, I picked up Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, and here's the thing. I started reading Throne of Glass expecting to hate it. I did not expect to like it. I tried reading ACOTAR. Maybe I'll give ACOTAR another chance, but I tried reading ACOTAR and it just was not for me. As an English major, literature major, someone who loves... I'm a girl who reads classics for fun. I am annoying and pretentious about my books, and I hate it. Hate it about myself, okay? I have been trying so hard to just read books for fun and not try to analyze them. That's my issue, is I will read a book and I will analyze it, and it could be a light, fluffy, silly, stupid romance, and I will be like, there wasn't enough, characterization, and the words were just not pretty enough. Anyways, I went into Throne of Glass expecting to just absolutely not like it. I had all of these preconceived notions in my head about Throne of Glass, about all of Sarah J. Maas's books, and I picked it up because I was just curious. Truly, that's what it was. I was just curious. I picked it up, and I really liked it. I really liked Throne of Glass, and I was like, okay, this is good. Then I read Crown of Midnight, and I was like, okay, that one's better. I like that one. And then I started reading Air of Fire, and I was bored out of my freaking mind. I was so bored. I didn't care about Manon. I didn't care about Rowan. I wanted Kale back. I was a Kale girly. I love him. And so when she was sent to Wenlin, I was like, this sucks. This is stupid. Sorry, I'm adjusting my daughter. I was like, this is stupid. But I picked it back up. I picked up Air of Fire again, and I kept reading, and I was giddy. I was jumping up and down in my chair. I was giggling. I was kicking my feet. I love Rowan. I love Rowan. I now love Manon. I love her. I didn't really care for her, but at the end of Air of Fire still, but I was wrong. I was pretentious. I was stupid. I was silly. I was wrong. Okay? Throne of Glass is so good. And then we have... Hi! I read Assassin's Blade in a single day. I love Sam. Sam is so... He did not deserve it. That's all I'm going to say. He did not deserve it. That one was more of a 3 stars for me. I loved, the last 2 short story novellas. I loved getting context. I think the reason it was 3 stars for me, the only reason it was 3 stars for me, was because I was so eager to get on to Queen of Shadows. That's the only reason. Because I missed Ron. That's it. That's the only reason. I love Sam. He's so... Oh, I was crying. I cried. It was wonderful. Air of Fire, by the way, I said it was 4 stars. The first half I was dying. The second half I was like, this is the best book that's ever written. So it evened out to 4 stars. Queen of Shadows, I read last. That's the last book. I finished it last night. 5 stars. I love Rowan. I love him. I love Rowan. But even more than that, listen. I love women. Coltane. Oh, Coltane. Astrid. Astrid's story. I was shook. Okay. Alida? I read Alida. I don't know if that's right. Alid. Loken. Aelin. We all know Aelin. Who was the other one that I was thinking of? Oh, Manon! I love Manon! Oh, I love Manon. Guys, I'm so passionate about this book. I don't even know how to describe anything about it without spoiling it, but like, if you just read through, if you take anything from this, don't be pretentious about the books and what books are like good enough for you. Okay, I was very much that person. I was struggling with reading, and it wasn't that I like, here's the thing, I was pretentious about books, but not in the way that, like, I didn't like it. I didn't like that I was pretentious about books. It wasn't something I was consciously doing. I would pick up books and I would just be like, I hated this one. I hated the writing in this one. This one's cringing me out. This one, and I still do that a little bit. I will pick up a lot of books and they'll just cringe me out really easily, and then I'll see other people like, this is 5 stars. And my goal for 2025 is to read books for fun. I'm trying to read books just for the joy of reading books. I want to read books that don't have beautiful flowery writing. I want to read books that I don't have to analyze. That's my goal. I feel like I'm doing really well. I'm reading books and I'm picking up books that I thought over the last couple years I would never pick up because there's no way they're that good. And I kept thinking some books were like below me. That sounds so, I don't like, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to say that I've changed. Okay, that's all. That's the 15 books I have read. The one I'm reading right now, started today, is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage, which is another book I thought I would never read, but I'm reading it and I'm enjoying it, and it helped a lot when my husband, he's going to a Western ball tonight, okay? He's going to a first responders ball, and it's Western themed, and he like came out in a button-down shirt and a cowboy hat and his docs. Okay, listen. It helped a lot with like envisioning the book. I'm going to go feed my beautiful baby daughter. We're all done. We did it. Yay. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next